What is going up, everybody? So in today's episode we are going to be talking about trading emotions. This is a very common problem, especially for beginners who first start trading and they aren't consistent, and the biggest part is emotions. There's really 2 or 3 main levels of emotion. The first one's definitely fear. As you make a trade, there's always FOMO, which is fear of missing out. That's very important. So you do a sloppy trade because you don't want to miss out and end up turning south and you lose money. So FOMO is a very big thing. It's a very common problem. I know when I first started trading, everybody would be talking about a stock, so I would hop into it and I would end up losing money. And I realized, why do I listen to other people? Why am I scared? Or, why am I scared to trade when I know these setups, I know my strategy? But there's always that fear of missing out. When I see a stock go from $4 to $12, I always get nervous at that $12 mark. Oh my God, is it going to go from 12 to 20? Is it going to go from 12 to 13? But as a stock gets way overextended that much, it gets a very risky, and the spreads are very large, and it's just a bad thing. The second emotion that a lot of traders face is when you lose. So this is when I blew my first account of about $500 or $1,000, I don't even remember how much it was. I literally was depressed because I felt like I know this stuff, but I don't know it. As it's a lot easier to look at something that someone else is doing, being like, oh, I see what they saw. But when it's a real trade happening, you end up getting nervous and you lose money. And when you lose money, the worst thing is when you have an account that's, say, starting out $500 and you lose $100. That's a lot of money for a $500 account. You could blow that account in a week, in a 5-day trading week. So it's just, you always got to be cautious. That's what I always kind of recommend, especially when you have an account that small. I always recommend doing anything over 1,000 to 5,000. That's pretty much a good starting range for trading, because then when you lose money, your share size isn't suffering too much, and you can still make good trades off it. So, and another thing that I realized when I began trading with a small account is I always set my stops way too tight. I always did it in the computer, so when the stock popped down, I would get stopped out. And I would get stopped out for my 2% loss, but over time it started adding up, and what really got to me is it would fall down and then it would spike up, and if I would have held, I would have made money off it. So what I really started doing is I began using mental stops and hotkeys, because you can hop out of a trade very fast with hotkeys. Mine's Control C Shift C is for my sell, and Shift A is for my buy. So I can literally, with the press of a button, I can be in and out of a trade just like that, and it definitely pays off. It definitely pays off using hotkeys. But let's get back to kind of the emotion part. So when I would lose out on a trade and I would see a stock go all the way back up, that's what really got to me. I realized, I know what I'm doing. I just gotta hold it longer, and I would be scared for it to fall too much. And the biggest thing that I learned is to take profit early. This is now getting into the third stage of emotions, and this stage is greed. When you have a stock that goes from $3 to $9 and you make $800, you always want that to go to $9 to $12. You always want more. And what I started doing is no matter what, I always took some profit at about 7 to 10%. I started scaling out there, and if I knew that the trade could continue to rise another 40%, I would always just buy back into it, because if you make a trade and you're up $300 and you just start scaling out, so now you're up 300, then 350, and then you're up 400, and then you're all out of shares and the stock's still ripping up, you hop back in with a small size of 100 shares, and just letting that ride out rather than loading up on share size and having it push up, always shooting for home runs. That's what another thing is, especially starting out with a new account. This is definitely for beginners. Is don't shoot for home run trades. Shoot for base hits. And I know Ross Cameron with Warrior Trading talks about this a lot. That's where I kind of got it from. Is start trying to do base hits. Don't go and make a 3,000 share position with a $3,000 account and hope it goes up 10%. Don't do that. You'll lose money. If that thing falls, you're going to be out. Just do small size, 300, 200 share position. Let it ride. Set your stops tight, but always mental, and just let it ride. Just let it ride for the day, or let it ride for an hour, or let it ride for 5 minutes. I always realized I always trade better, with 5-minute candlesticks, because I've realized it's very hard to do 1 minute support and resistance lines, because a lot of people use 5 minutes. It's a little more hard. It's a little bit of a better stop there, so that's pretty much what I started doing. I did 5 minutes and I just started holding positions longer, and it definitely started paying out very, very fast. And I'm very thankful that I built up my account now where I can afford to lose $300 a week and make $900 or $1,000. And some days I make about I kind of kicked my camera. And some days I make $2,000. It's just a fantastic thing, So that's what I kind of wanted to talk about, was trading emotions. And those 3 stages is you have fear, you have greed, and you have that time when you're just losing money and you don't know what to do. And the biggest thing is always seek education before you put money into the market, because with the money you put into the market, you could go and get a very, very good trading community. My trading community is free. We don't have too many members now, but I always think long term. That's just kind of how I am. So I'm always putting, or I don't know, but just ignore that. So that's it though. I just wanted to talk to you guys about that. Remember to always stay happy, stay positive, and I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. It's Friday here. I don't know when you guys are going to watch this. So that's it though. Remember to always stay happy, stay positive, and I hope everybody has a great day.